going? Lovely's, I'm Brandon.
I'm Gwen.
And welcome to Broken Hearted Cast, where we talk about life, the universe, and everything in between. It is a discussion show, so welcome to everybody that's listening to Apple Podcasts now, and wherever you listen to your podcast, whether it be on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, whatever.
Yeah.
You ready to jump on into this?
I am very ready. You actually will be starting today, not me, which is new for this cast. If you've never listened before.
Wrong. I always said what we was talking about.
Oh, no. I will not be saying what we're talking about. Or I will be saying... Hold on. I have done confuzzled myself, folks. I will be saying what we're talking about, but you will be starting
Okay.
the discussion.
Do it, then.
Musicals.
Talk about drama. You know, I was gonna make a Les Mis reference there, but I forget what prisoner number he was.
24601.
Yes. What are you, prisoner insert number here?
What?
Anyways,
Jean Valjean? I'm confused.
let's just get right into it.
If you haven't been able to tell, Brandon is the one who remembers things and I'm the one who's just confused all the time.
Yes. Anyways, so, of course, this week we're going to be talking about musicals. So, starting off with musicals. We're going to go in order from when we went to go see it. So, and also, what else?
When we talk about the musicals, we're gonna be kind of like, maybe not rating them, but like giving our like opinions on them and things like that based off of like the, I guess, kind of screenplay, like the acting, like how, if you were to read the screenplay, would the person
metaphorical screenplay, yes.
Yeah, would the person acting it out fit how you would imagine it?
Right.
Kind of thing, like.
If you listen to the musical and like on the CD or on iTunes or whatever, whenever you went to go see it, was it the same as you envisioned it, kind of?
Was it better?
Or was it worse?
Yeah. Were some characters better and were some characters worse?
In my opinion, with one of the musicals that we went to go see, but...
Yeah.
Anyways,
but yeah, we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about music quality, like, was it repetitive? Was it... Which I know you hate Newsies because it's the same song with
Newsies is
somewhat
the
different
same
words.
Thing. Same song over and over and over again.
Same song, 50th verse.
Sorry for anybody that was in Newsies.
Yeah. I liked it. I thought it was a good musical. But yeah, once you pointed out to me, like, it's the same song, because I saw you cringing and I'm like, I know you don't like it, but it's not that bad, and you just like whispered to me, it's the same song, and I was like,
the glass shattered.
Yeah, the glass shattered, and I realized it is the same song. But yeah, we'll be talking about music, which is a key thing in musicals, of course, and like what we just said, if it's repetitive, if it was maybe too different sounding, yeah, all of that kind of stuff. Costume design. We already kind of just talked about acting. Yeah, that's kind of the screenplay thing. And set design. Because set design is what can make or break a musical or play.
Which happened to one of the musicals that we saw, which we'll get into.
Yes.
And, sorry, a little side note. Brian, we have a mascot, for those lovers that don't know. We have a mascot on the channel. He's a very depressed dinosaur named Brian. He's, like, staring at me on the tower of the computer.
Nice.
He's just like, how dare you?
How dare you sit where he sat?
I've seen this coming. Anyways.
Yeah. But we're gonna be talking about, in order for ones you and I have both seen, we're gonna be talking about Chicago, Hamilton, the Cincinnati version, and then you'll also, before we talk about the Cincinnati version, talk about you seeing it in Chicago.
Right.
But we'll keep those kind of together because I wanted to talk about the people that I knew that went to see in Chicago, what their complaints were.
Yeah.
Oh, and then kind of also talk about those. But yeah, Chicago, Hamilton, Dear Evan Hansen, and Book of Mormon. And then you're going to talk about, right now...
Starting off, because I wanted to keep it a surprise, because that's how I like to have it here on the podcast.
You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and also our YouTube channel.
The man with a machete could just break through the door at any moment.
You know, whenever you announce it, he's just standing outside, just like...
Like, ready, and he's just like...
Man, she announced it.
Man,
I gotta go back.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. It's not Friday 13th. We can't do this.
It's a Tuesday. Well, when you listen to this, it's any day of the week, but these usually come out on Thursdays. So.
At 4:20, which I may or may not be a joke.
Oh, I always have them come out at 4:30.
Yeah. Well, because YouTube is just strict like that.
Yeah.
YouTube never lets us have any fun.
They're like 4:15 or 4:30, and it's like, I want 4:20. It's like, you can't have 4:20. We saw you in your little games. We stopped you.
Anyways.
You nasty people. 4:30.
Anyways, let's just get right into it. So, starting off, I went to go see In the Heights, which, if you haven't heard of it, or if you haven't seen the new trailer, or anything like that, it is a musical about a community in Washington Heights. I actually went to go see it down in Dayton whenever it was making its 10th year anniversary tour, when just about all the proceeds were going to the earthquake refuge charity things down in Mexico. So that gives like a brief area of time whenever we went to go see it.
2015-ish?
2015 and 2016. I remember being graduated from high school.
You did graduate?
Yes.
Oh, really? Because I thought, I could have sworn you went and saw it in 2015.
No, I went to go see it in 2016.
You know, I think I was mistaken because the playbill you gave me was like their tour dates, and they started in 2015 and went through 2016.
Yeah.
So that's what screwed me up.
Yeah.
So 2016, yeah, definitely would have been right.
And I really enjoyed it. The actors that they got for it, they acted their heart out. Like, because a lot of them, their families were down in Mexico during the earthquake, so it felt like that they was envisioning their family down in the audience, and you can feel the empowerment that they had up on stage. And with the set design, it was perfect. It reminded me of being back in New York, because I went there right after 9/11 happened. So I remember.
You were only a couple years old when you went down then.
Yeah. I remember going through Harlem and around that area and just like being shaken up. But for how young I was, I didn't really quite understand it as well.
Yeah, you didn't know why you were shaken up, but your body could sense like something's not right here.
Yeah.
Something bad happened.
Yeah. So that just brought me back to being in New York. And there's a lot of emotion in that musical. And the story it focuses on one guy who runs a convenience store. And basically what happened, it's a story about him trying to find his own place in the world, and it focusing also on the community around him, like the struggles that they go through every single day.
Yeah, and it's not just about him finding his place in the world. I've listened to the soundtrack, and to me it's about every character. Every character in it is trying to find their place in the world. Like,
Right.
Just I guess the opening song can't really give too many spoilers, but like there's a character who's off at college who's feeling very, like, she's extremely smart, but she's feeling very conflicted, and like she doesn't know what she wants to do in life, and she doesn't know what's more important, education or culture. And like there's a girl who just wants to get her money and get out,
Right.
go to the big, like, downtown, and then there's, like you said, the convenience store guy who's just trying to also find what his place in life is.
And like his struggle of, if he had enough money, he would move to where his parents immigrated from.
Yeah.
Which was Puerto Rico. If I'm remembering right.
Yeah, I believe it is.
So, yeah, it's just about everybody trying to find a place in the world.
Yeah.
Which I highly recommend listening to it. But the soundtrack, the CD soundtrack itself, is kind of confusing.
It's a little bit confusing if you don't know, because you explained to me like what was going on with some of the stuff, because I was a little confused, because there would be times where a lot of the songs will just bleed into each other,
Right.
kind of like story wise, and then others, like there will be like 5 scenes that happen in between these 2 songs, so like,
Right.
instead of like maybe 1 scene or less than a scene. And also for me, quite a few of the female characters especially sound the same.
Right.
2 of the male characters sounded the same to me. It was hard for me to distinguish between 2 of the male characters, but like a bunch of the young female characters, they all sounded the same.
Yeah.
And it took listening to the soundtrack like 5 or more times by the time I was able to pick up, oh, that's that character and that's that character.
Right. So if you have the CD, try to find somebody that either watched it or wait until the movie comes out to listen to it. Which the movie comes out this summer, so
I'm
it's
excited for that.
not too long, which I'm really excited for. I watched the trailer like about 5 times, and I've noticed like little stuff that they've changed in it. But I'm also really excited about like the stuff that, like everything, like some scenes are gonna be different and stuff like that. So, moving on from that, I went to go see Hamilton in Chicago, which that was like a year after In the Heights that I seen it. Yeah, which I'm not gonna spend too much time on Hamilton in Chicago, but even though it just closed, and if you're like some of the actors that want to go see it, or if you want to go see it, or anything like that, you guys did a wonderful job. I give you so much props, especially Miguel that actually acted as Alex the entire run of Chicago. That he's just been on it every single day, going to go act as Hamilton, like going back home and like dealing with his family issues. You are the man. Like, I give you nothing but props. You're my favorite Hamilton out of all of them. So, but
yeah,
moving on from
with also within the Heights set design.
Set design.
Like, you said like the music was amazing.
Yeah.
The acting was perfect, but set design. I'm really curious about that. Wasn't it kind of like Hamilton's set design?
No. It was completely different from Hamilton's set design. And like I said, it brought me back to being in New York. Because the whole set design from left to right, it had a building that was the limo driver's building. Then it had a apartment complex. Then like they had a space in the middle, like where there's a walkway and stuff like that, like a bridge. And then you can see the George Washington Bridge out in the distance. And then like after that, like right middle section is the convenience store, and then like the very last building is the hairdresser.
Oh, okay.
So,
which hairdresser is like a big kind of main hub.
Yes.
In the musical, but yeah.
But like the way that they even like rolled out the way you check out.
Oh yeah.
Areas.
Yeah.
So my mind just went blank. Yeah, they rolled it out like for like some of the scenes, which I thought was really cool. They also rolled out like the couch and just different stuff, and like the way that they used the fireworks in the musical was fantastic.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So next would be Chicago, which that was my first big musical I've ever seen. I had only ever seen like local theater musicals or like high school productions. Like.
Oh yeah, sorry. I wanted to plug this in real quick before Chicago. But I went to go see Mystery Science Theater 3000, the 30th year anniversary, which that was kind of a musical because they did sing in it.
Yeah.
And I want to give this plug. We're also going to mention it at the very end. But if you have went to go see Mystery Science Theater 3000 live, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, it is a show on Netflix. You can watch it now. You can watch season 2 up to the newest one.
Yeah.
I believe. Oh, season 3 up to the newest one. Doesn't matter. You can watch any season. But, yeah, it's about this guy who gets trapped by these evil overlords, and he gets tortured by watching really old bad movies. And that's basically just ripped right to the live shows, is you get to watch these really bad movies. Well, they choose a movie. The live performance acts out as one of the episodes.
Yeah.
So you don't really have to be a fan, or you never really have to watch an episode of your life to get that impact of like what the show's about during a live performance. Which, yeah, if you haven't wanted to go see Mystery Science Theater live, it is on tour right now. I think I gotta look up the tour dates, but yeah, go and watch it. You will not be disappointed. No retreat, no surrender.
Oh boy.
That's the movie that they're showing with Mystery Science Theater. So yeah, go check it out.
Yeah, when you and I went to go see it.
Yeah.
What were they showing when you went to go see it?
They were showing The Brain.
Oh boy. I haven't seen that yet, but you've been trying to show it to me.
Yeah, one day I'll show it to you.
Oh boy. But yeah, so
I'm not gonna say what the movie's all about. I'm just gonna let you nobody's experience it. Moving on to Chicago.
yeah, that is your favorite Broadway musical.
Yes, it is my favorite Broadway musical of all time. Even though it's one of the longest running musicals of all time.
Yeah, it is the longest running American musical
Yes.
of all time.
Yeah, which, if you don't know what it's about it takes place in the 1920s, and this woman who cheats on her husband with this guy who's a
Much
friend.
younger, much more handsome guy.
Yes, who in the movie he abuses her, but also
Let's not talk about the movie.
yeah,
The movie doesn't count.
the movie is kind of like the new Cats movie.
No, it's not that bad, but
It's a little bit that bad.
no. They just changed some things from the musical, which, since we're talking about the musical, like the stage versions, I'd like to kind of keep those different.
Okay.
We could do that podcast talking about the difference between movies
Yes,
and musicals.
let's do
we can
that.
bring in the Heights in, and then when they make the Hamilton movie, we can bring Hamilton in.
Yeah, but in the musical, in the play version, they just get in an argument, and
He wants to leave her.
yeah, and he wants to leave her, and she snaps and shoots him.
Yeah, she's basically like, nobody leaves me.
And
If anyone's gonna leave, it's gonna be me.
of course, she gets caught. So
Yeah.
it's basically about the story of her going to prison and trying to get out of prison
Yeah, her trial, her times in prison,
and stuff like that.
and yeah.
And having to deal with the 1920s and / 30s. Because it takes place around there.
Yeah.
Specifically 1920s. So this being 2020, hey, this is a perfect
the
time.
Roaring 20s.
The roaring 20s.
Rower XD.
You know what?
Nuzzles Rower XD. Oh, sorry. Asterisk Nuzzles, asterisk Rar XD.
You're bringing back some weird flashbacks for me.
I'm bringing back some good flashbacks for me. That's just how I talk now.
Elmo, please.
My name's not Elmo. My name is Gwen.
Elmo. Sorry, that's like a little and hyphenated term for everybody. Let's get back on task.
Okay.
So
But
so moving on from that, what did we see next?
hold on. We didn't finish talking about Chicago.
Oh yeah, but the set and everything.
So yeah, the set and everything and what we liked about it. I loved how they utilized the set. They didn't change the set like at all. They would pull sometimes like ladders in and utilize them for different things, but they would basically just like move pieces that were already on set over a little bit to kind of just to change the set so much. So the set design was amazing.
Yeah.
It was very similar to Hamilton's set design, where they kind of they didn't change the set at all. But Chicago did it better than Hamilton.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about Hamilton in a minute, but because Hamilton didn't really move their set at all. They would move props on and then take them backstage, like after that scene was over, but they wouldn't actually move parts of the set as much. Chicago constantly was moving parts of the set, and like they would use like during some court scenes with different characters going to trial.
They
would take the orchestra pit, which was on stage, and they would make it seem like that was the jury. Like part of the jury and part of like the courtroom. And you know, like they would sometimes have the actors like interact with the people in the orchestra pit.
Well, even down on the first few rows, they would interact with people all the time. And they had literally just the set was envision like a big band stage. That's kind of how it was, right dead center.
Yeah.
And then they had chairs leading, like, surrounding it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole entire set for Chicago.
It was amazing.
But they kept moving the chairs, they kept interacting with the...
And they had pulley, like, the kind of ladders you see attached to bookshelves in really old libraries.
Yeah.
The wheelie ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had those, like, giant ones from the bottom to the top of the stage that they would wheel, like, that was attached to, like, the catwalk. That they would, like, wheel onto set. and then kind of hide back on set. But like they always were on set, you know, and they would use those for different musical numbers and different things, and I really liked that. The acting was, in my opinion, perfect. Nobody overacted, nobody underacted.
Yeah, the actors were amazing. They did the parts extremely well, especially like how you envision them to act during that time.
Yeah.
Or like whenever the situation was going on. So I think that did we cover everything?
I think we did. Costume design was amazing.
Yeah, costume.
We didn't really talk about that within the Heights, but
costume design.
I mean, it's kind of set in semi-modern day, so it's kind of like it's what people in Washington Heights wear.
Yeah.
But like this is set in the 1920s, so.
Which Chicago costume design, which was just lingerie.
Pretty much. They would add and take away some things, but it was very 1920s.
Like 1920s flapper girl type lingerie. Yeah. And the lawyer, he wore a tuxedo.
Yeah. He looked like a 1920s lawyer.
Then also they also had, for some of the dancers they had for Chicago was kind of like that Las Vegas peacock flair to it. And then for the woman's husband, he just wore a suit and tie.
Yep.
That's really simple design.
Yeah, I really liked it.
So, alright, let's move on to
Hamilton.
If you don't know about Hamilton,
where have you been? Because this is probably one of the most talked about musical. This is probably the most talked about modern musical.
Right. If you don't know, we're not judging you, but it is about basically just the start of the country, and it focuses on Alexander Hamilton. You know, the guy that's on the $10 bill. Yeah, he was actually a really major part of history, and so this focuses on his life from whenever he was a kid up till the day he died.
Yeah.
Which of course it jumped a few years in between. Doesn't like focus on like every single point, but. Yeah. One thing that they left out of I just want to add this little tiny plug because I'm a history nerd. One thing that they really left out was Hamilton's ship caught fire while he was coming to America. So,
I forgot about that.
Can you just imagine that one scene from Pirates of the Caribbean? You know, like where Jack Sparrow's like going into Port Royale and like his ship's sinking, he's just standing on top. Yeah, that was kind of like Hamilton.
Yeah. No, but that kind of goes in. That makes his whole life story even worse because there's a song that he basically just talks about. I mean, the opening song kind of talks about from when he was like a really little kid to like how he got where he was. But in another song later, he sings about when he was a really little kid, how he had nothing and people helped him get money so he could go to America. And it's just kind of like you hear about all the horrible stuff he went through as a kid, and then like to top it all off, his ship catches on fire. So he gets a little glimpse of hope of like I might actually be able to survive and not die.
Yeah, but that was like right off the shore of America, so it's fine.
Still, it's just like he sees the shores of America and his ship catches on fire. It's like that's just my luck. That's yep, that seems about right.
It's kind of like Christopher Columbus like discovering the islands down past Florida, like the Bahama Islands, and it's just like, yes, I did it, I discovered America. Then Ponce de Leon's just standing there, just like, really,
with
dude?
Like a bloodied sword, and he's just like, hee hee. But like, you're next. It's just like, turn the ship around, guys, turn the ship around. But yeah,
we're having Easter here.
And something they also left out of the musical that they kind of hint at in a song, kind of, but you only
how Hercules Morgan was the first person I met.
No.
So you left that out.
Yeah, they changed that. But one thing they hinted at, but you could only pick up the hint if you knew the fact, is that one of the Schuyler sisters dies very young.
Which
I mean, this is American history, so like it's not spoiling it.
Yeah.
It's
a spoiler. Yeah, it's a spoiler if you don't know your history.
Yeah. But yeah, she ends up passing away really young, and Hamilton and his wife Eliza actually ended up moving from where they were living back to where her father and sister were living so that they could be with her for the last few months she was alive. Because she was always really sickly, apparently. And when they heard how her condition was getting worse and worse and worse, they decided to just move back up there. And it was like 3 months later she died.
Ooh. And
then they moved back. So they moved away, then back, then away again, then back again. So they kept moving back and forth because of different issues and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, they left out some key history stuff. But I mean, it was already like a 3-hour musical, so like you
then
can't...
also, yeah, the whole thing with Eliza moving to Washington D.C. and starting up an orphanage, they touched on it.
They mention it in the very end. They mention everything it's kind of like, oh shoot, we forgot to, like, there's all this, we talked about all of Alexander Hamilton stuff in his life, but his wife was kind of awesome, so we should probably, like, yeah, we don't have any more time for, like, another 12 songs, so we're gonna have to, like, or a third act just focusing on her, because it's a movie about him, or not movie, a musical mainly about him, so they're kind of like, we just kind of have to wrap up the next 20 years of her life in one song.
If I'm remembering right, she lived up to the start of the Civil War.
Yeah.
So
she lived for another 50 years after him.
Yeah.
And he died when he was probably in his 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
So she was like 80 or 90 when she died.
Yeah,
I looked it up at some point. She was
close to 90.
Yeah, I think she was like 86 or 87 or something like that. If you guys know, you can leave in the comments below. Or
yeah.
I don't know if you can leave comments on Apple or Spotify, so email us.
Yeah.
Or comment down on whatever social media post for this is on any of our social media we'll have linked.
So let's talk about costumes and the actors.
The costumes were amazing. Yeah,
the costumes were really, in my opinion, kind of accurate to that time period.
Yeah, they were very accurate in my opinion.
Yeah.
And they were...
There was a few things off with them, but...
So much detail and effort was put into them. They were just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, like no woman back in that period of time would have showed that much cleavage.
No.
Yeah, like... Maybe if she was a harlot, but the Schuyler sisters were not harlots.
No. So, that we know of.
That we know of. There was only one harlot in the whole musical, and she was dressed appropriately to being a harlot. So,
which was the same actor for Peggy, which that makes it that much awkward.
Because Peggy at that point in the musical is dead.
Right.
So,
because they don't give no mention to.
You remind me of somebody. Oh, it's my dead sister-in-law.
Yes.
Oh, it's my dead sister-in-law. I don't think I want to be with you anymore.
Say no to this.
I will do that.
So, moving to the actors. Do you want to start? For the tour version?
The tour version? Well, I was actually going to have you start with the... Okay, for the tour version, because, to talk about the tour version, I'm going to be calling back to the Chicago version. So, I'd rather have you start out with your experience with Chicago.
The Chicago actors... Again,
that you saw, because some of them changed.
Yeah, that I saw. It was amazing. They did everything spot on. Like that, they've been doing this for all of their lives. Even, again, Miguel, that actor that was Hamilton, he did a phenomenal job at his portrayal of it. Even, in my opinion, he did a better job than Lynn. Again, that's my opinion. Don't hate on me for that. But, and then the guy... Specifically for B, he played it well. Like, he slowly got mad over the span of the musical, and he had that perfect amount of sass and sarcasm. And for the rest of the characters, they did, like, within Heights, they acted like that their family was up watching them in the audience. They did nothing but a phenomenal job.
Yeah. Now... I heard some majorly different things about Chicago.
Yeah.
I know that the only actor... I wish I had, like, my sister's playbill so I could tell you guys who the actors were. Not to call out the actors, because everybody's gonna act and portray a character differently.
Right.
And I don't want to say like this person did it bad. It's just that it's not how it felt. It didn't feel right to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll have some evidence to back it up, but or my opinion back it up. But the just Burr was
Burr?
not good. The whole group did not like Burr. Because from the get-go, and the Burr, in my opinion, Cincinnati is exactly the same with the Chicago one, just acted like manic and angry and crazy through the whole thing. Wasn't sassy at all, was like dead serious the entire time, was very, like, not very sassy, not very funny, was just kind of like insane through the entire musical, and just kept getting more and more insane instead of being like a sane person slowly getting insane. It was like an already insane person just falling deeper into insanity.
Yeah, that's weird because like with me, the Bay was spot on.
Which makes me wonder if, because I think some of the Chicago cast is the people who became the tour, and they got new people in.
Yeah, but I watched it before your sister did, and her friends. So,
yeah, so
I wonder if it was a different group of actors whenever I went to go see it.
No, because when I got the playbill, or the thing I had on the list of actors, it said Miguel was one of them for Hamilton.
Well, he's in every single performance.
No, it said the Hamilton changed.
Really?
Yeah, if you go to see like Sunday performances, the matinee is different than the late night.
Yeah.
Or some weeks it's Miguel, some weeks it was a different actor.
Yeah, because I remember it being
one of the Sunday. Or
it
was
a matinee.
Theirs was a matinee too, but I don't think they.
No, mine wasn't.
Oh, I don't know. But all I know is that the actor for Hamilton is the only one that changed according to their playbill, and that like it depended when you were gonna see them. Kind of thing, or like for only one day of the week it was the different actor.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the week it was
him.
Pretty sure it was the other way around. That might have been when his family was dealing with medical issues.
Yeah.
So they may have cut his acting down.
Yeah.
If I'm right about that. All I know is there was Miguel, and then there was an African American actor, which is one of the reasons why I'm saying I think some of the people who were doing Chicago, like maybe some of the understudies and stuff that sometimes would act.
Yeah.
I think they went on to do the tour. That's what I'm guessing. Because going kind of on to the Cincinnati version, the Burr was just, in my opinion, bad. Like, if you listen to the soundtrack and you see, like, clips of other performances with Burr, they act sane and are cracking jokes. And they slowly get angrier and slowly get more insane.
Right.
But this Burr was just angry and stern and serious from the get-go.
Right.
And insane.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to the set now?
Sure. But yeah, in Cincinnati, all the other actors were phenomenal.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he was a bad actor. He was an amazing actor. He just portrayed Burr. It felt awkward during some of the scenes because it's like, oh, that's not the emotion that's supposed to be being conveyed.
Was it in Cincinnati or was it...
Dear Theodosia was very uncomfortable for me with how he was acting insane through the entire musical, and then gets to Dear Theodosia and he's still acting angry and insane, and it's like, that's how. Yeah, we just
need to do a Hamilton podcast.
No, it doesn't need that. But,
okay.
But yeah, it was just it made me uncomfortable just for especially those songs and things, because that emotion that he was conveying fit for most of the scenes, but some of them it was the complete opposite emotion. And
one of the, I forget whether it was in Chicago or Cincinnati, the guy that they got for Lafayette / Jefferson, to me, being in the back row, he kind of looked like LeBron James, which I felt like that was so awesome.
That was not Cincinnati, because they got a person who could portray a child, but also a 20-year-old.
No, I'm talking about Lafayette.
Oh, Lafayette. Yeah, no, that was still,
Yeah.
I think, Chicago.
Okay. Yeah. But that was just awesome in my opinion.
So it's like, LeBron, that's where you've been.
Oh, why have you not been in Ohio? Come on, man, we miss you.
His heart's in Ohio, though.
His bar's in Ohio. Space jam me up, Bon. Anyways.
So, ad break?
Sure, ad break. That's perfect time for ad break. Just come on and slam. Now, welcome to the. How's it going, you lovelies? I'm Brandon. It's your favorite host. And sorry that I had to leave you up on the really bad cliffhanger as in Space Jam. But, again, it's that time of year again. It's that special time where people like to donate. And in the description below, there is a whole big cash box for PayPal. And that helps us fund to do more podcasts like this. It helps us keep posting the stuff that we post and to help fund more games to play on a YouTube channel and stuff like that. So, if you're interested, go and donate down below. The link is always down in the description. Also, if you haven't had a chance, or if you're listening to it on another podcast app, go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We play video games for all the rest of the week, besides on Thursdays. So, we are just wrapping up Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, so go check it out today. It is one of my favorite series that we've done on the channel so far. So yeah, go check it out before it actually ends. Because after it ends, we're gonna move straight to another Zelda game, so who knows is gonna have the same energy or not. But I have keep getting the same questions every single time. And so this week we're gonna do, are you guys from Ohio? Yes, we are located in Ohio. Actually, we're gonna go to OhioCon this weekend. So if you go into OhioCon this weekend, come say hi to us. Friday, I'm gonna be doing Joel from the Shoe Science Theater. Gwen's gonna be doing Witch Mercy from Overwatch. Then Saturday, well, for half of Friday and all day Saturday, we're gonna be doing the Adventure Zone, a Stolen Century timeline thing. Yes. Gwen's shaking her head and be like, yes, that's the storyline that we're gonna be doing. So the story arc, I mean. So she's gonna be doing Loop, I'm gonna be doing Taco. We're gonna be doing short hair and with our natural hair, so it's gonna be really fun trying to portray that. Again, if you haven't listened to Adventure Zone, go and listen to it now. Catch up so you can quickly do a cosplay with us. Or if you're doing a cosplay of Adventure Zone, no matter what character you are, more than welcome to come and join us and rock out with us the whole entire day. And on Sunday, I'm gonna be doing my Jedi OC because Star Wars is really big right now. And my last name being Milwaukee, I just have been loving Star Wars for my whole entire life, and that's gonna be next week's episode. So stay tuned for that. But also, Gwen's gonna be doing Witch Mercy again on Sunday. So go and come and check us out at OhioCon, which is January 10th through the 12th. And then the next con is gonna be Gym City, the 25th through the 26th of April. We're gonna be down there at Gym City in Dayton for either 1 or 2 days. Don't know yet. We haven't figured it out. But besides that, in July 10th through the 12th, we're gonna be at Indie PopCon, which will be my 5th year going. No, wait, yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh yeah, Gwen's right here. Yeah, it's gonna be my 6th year going. Yeah, it's gonna be my 6th year going, and we will say what our cosplay schedule is for whenever that gets closer and whenever we figure it out. And yeah, that's there's more cons on the horizon. We just got to figure out which ones we want to go to. Just stay tuned with us. And so, yeah, let's get back into it. And again, go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The link is in the description. Also, go and donate today. And if you don't want to donate to us, then, well, there's a lot of different cool charities out there. So go and find one that you're interested in, and please donate. It helps so many people. And so, yeah, let's get back into it. Jam. What? Come on and slam.
And welcome to the jam. Did I tell you about the time? This is a little off topic. Space Jam came out on my sister's birthday, the year she was born.
That must have been jamming.
So for her 23rd birthday, I got Space Jam on DVD. It was like $3 from Walmart. I got it from one of those grab bins. I was just like, Space Jam, I'm gonna get this for her as a joke. And I was like, wait, when did Space Jam come out? I feel like it came out in 95. And then I like checked it. It was the exact date. And I was just like, what? This is perfect.
Should have got it for her 20th birthday.
Oh man, yeah. If only I knew about it back then.
Yeah.
Well, I knew about Space Jam, but
I mean, come on. You'd be busting out the womb nowadays and just like knowing about Space Jam.
Hey, I busted out the womb 3 years after Space
Be
Jam.
like, boom, come on and slam.
And welcome to the jam. Man, these contractions are killing me. Okay, but
You was in there just like playing basketball with Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny in my mom's womb? That's kind of getting weird, Brandon.
Would you rather have it be Daffy Duck?
I'd rather have it be me, the only baby in my mother's womb, but...
Did you not see Looney Tunes babies as a kid?
I did, and I don't want any of them in my mother's womb. Can we get back on the topic of musicals?
I like to focus more on Looney Tunes babies as opposed to...
No.
Fine.
So yeah, back on to the topic of musicals.
Looney Tunes babies
No.
had a... Okay, Gwen, stop... She won't let me do my Sean Bean bits again.
I won't, because they're getting out of hand.
No, they're not.
Why don't you go and marry Sean Bean if you love him so much?
Sean Bean, can you please come on the show?
Please don't.
We're gonna be...
Don't steal my man, Sean Bean. Please don't steal my man.
I just wanna ask you some questions about,
like, will you marry me?
No. Like, how his time was, like, doing Silent Hill and also, like, Game of Thrones, and, like, how that impacted him. And, like, same with Lord of the...
actually really
yeah,
real
like,
right
same
now.
with, like, Lord of the Rings, and, like, how... his character, like, how does it feel, like, being...
dying
Yeah,
all the time.
exactly. How does it feel to be the one actor, like, that's kind of typecast to die in every single thing?
You know, he is. He really is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Lord of the Rings,
I
James
swore
Bond.
I would not let him do a Sean Bean bit this episode, and I let it happen, and I'm very ashamed of myself right now, so...
Sean Bean bits have become a part of this show.
Let's just go on. Dear Evan Hansen. Next musical. Dear Evan Hansen.
Sincerely me. Dear Evan Hansen.
Sincerely Bean.
Sorry, that deserves a high five.
Yeah, man.
Anyways,
I'm crying. Why am I crying?
Dear Evan Hansen is about a socially awkward kid who somehow breaks his arm, and it's about his first day of senior year of high school. And so it follows through his first day, and then it cuts a few days, and it turns out that the last guy they talked to on his first day, this known school bully, kills himself. And so he comes up with this plan to act like that he was friends with this guy the whole entire time, and he starts this...
Because they find a letter that the bully had taken from him. The bully forgot to take it out of his pocket when he died, and so the parents and the police find it on him, and so they track down the kid, the main character, and they're like, hey, did you write this? And being socially awkward and not knowing how to respond, he just says, yeah, I knew him, I was friends with him. So then he has to come up with this whole scheme of making everybody believe they were friends. So
Right.
he has to kind of fabricate more correspondence.
Yeah.
Because he feels bad that this family, you know, they don't want... They thought, like, their kid had nobody when he died.
Yeah.
But they think, oh, no, he had at least one person. So he doesn't want them to feel bad, so he just, like, keeps trying to keep their hope and their, happiness alive.
Yeah. And from that, he starts a charity on the guy's behalf. And just this chaos ensues.
Yeah, chaos ensues because with anything that could happen like this, eventually you will get caught. You're gonna slip up in some way, and you can't keep the facade up long enough. So, or for very long.
So let's move on. We don't need to talk about costumes. It's just
It's set modern day.
modern day colors,
Yeah, just what high schoolers wear, like polo shirts and
graphic
khakis
tees.
and jeans. What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm? Pair of khakis, a polo shirt and khakis. She sounds hideous. I remember this little commercial.
So, set design.
I was not a fan of the screens. They had these giant projector screens. The set was kind of boring.
Yeah. That is.
They would throw, like, if it needed to be set in one of the people's bedroom, they would just throw a twin-size bed on set. If it needed to be set in a living room, they would throw, like, a couch and maybe a coffee table.
Oh, if it took place in the kitchen, they would like
A
just
table maybe in there.
a kitchen
But
table.
with some of the scenes, you couldn't tell if it was inside or outside.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't change the set. Like, for the inside of the school, they did nothing.
Yeah.
For the outside at all, they did nothing. Unless it was a very specific place outside where they would, like, sometimes with, like, a tree and a park bench. But other than, like, that, it was kind of like you couldn't tell where a lot of these scenes were taking place, and it was a little confusing.
Yeah, but modern day people, the people that are like really obsessed with the aesthetic look.
It was aesthetically pleasing.
It was like, oh, not trying to mock them, but it's just like more like that's so amazing. Just don't you get it?
Bed. The bed is a metaphor for the isolation that he's feeling.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just like, yeah, you could say that the whole entire set is a metaphor for isolation.
Yeah, and how people stay on their phones just to avoid.
Yeah, because the screens are constantly showing, like, social media, just, like, scrolling through like crazy
Then
quickly,
also
and
like
texts
just the
and
notification.
yeah, whenever
sounds.
like intermission would happen and
We
before
can-
the play started, they had different, like, notification noises. So, like, the sound iPhones make when you send a message, they're like noise, and like the ding for getting a text or a notification on Apple, and like Facebook Messenger and Facebook dings, and just different social media notification noises and sounds would be popping up just constantly. And it was kind of, for me, it was like ADHD hell, because there's stuff flashing everywhere and there's sounds coming from everywhere, and I can't figure out where they're coming from. Was that your phone that just went off, or was that something part of the play? And it was just like, I was getting a bit overstimmed. It was terrible.
Yeah. I was getting a little bit overstemmed.
The live
as
band was awesome.
The live, yes.
Because it was like it was kind of rock music a little bit at times. So maybe not necessarily rock, but like
the poppy type of rock.
Poppy type of rock. And it was just like, it was so cool having like a live band.
Yes.
And they had them hidden behind one of the projector screens.
But you can see the band every once in a while.
Yeah.
If you looked at it that way.
Yeah, they were high up. They weren't down like an orchestra pit or anything.
But the actors were amazing.
The actors were amazing. Story, in my opinion, like, they made it seem like there weren't really that many consequences for the guy's actions.
For Evan's actions.
And it's kind of like, no, if somebody were to actually do this, there would be a lot of consequences.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like, no, but see, look at all the good, like, yeah, there are consequences, but look at the good that came out of it. It's like, I don't think people should be told to lie just so that something good can happen.
Yeah.
Because you still lied, you still did a bad. The bad doesn't outweigh the good. You know, so the story I didn't really like as much, but the acting was phenomenal.
Yes.
The guy who played the person who passed away's father, he actually has, you know who he reminded me of?
Who?
He reminded me of Duke Silver because he plays like jazz saxophone, and he gave us a flyer for one of his shows when we went to meet the cast. It was the funniest thing. We were just talking to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I love so," because we're like, yeah, like our whole mission is to help people who are like in that dark place and to like just give them some happiness and some, you know, light in their world. And like he was like, "Oh, I love like things that do that. Like I'll take a business card." And we're like, "Oh, sure, here you go. Like here's our stuff to our YouTube channel." And and he was like, "Yeah, here, and I'll give you my business card." He handed us a flyer to his like, it was very like oriented towards like middle-aged women.
Yeah.
Like he reminded me of Duke Silver. Like it was like during the day he's a Broadway, or you know, like an off-Broadway musical performer, and at night he is a sexy saxophone player for all the ladies out there.
Which, if you don't know who Duke Silver is, go and watch Parks and Rec.
You'll find out who Duke Silver is and you will laugh. I love Duke Silver, but yeah.
Duke Silver is one of my favorite musicians.
Don't just Google who Duke Silver is, because
you gotta
experience it. It's so much better if you experience like the timeline leading up to Duke Silver.
Yes.
Like, don't Google who Duke Silver is. I'll be very upset. But yeah, the acting I thought was phenomenal.
Yes.
Both of the actors for both of the moms, they sounded exactly like the Broadway performers.
Yeah, that got me in for a loop, because I thought that they were the actual.
I did too. They looked like them too. They looked almost exactly like them.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, hold on, what? And then we looked up when we like got out. Like when we got back to the hotel, we like looked up. We found out like, nope, those are not the same people.
Yeah, no.
It's just like, dang.
Because like on the whole car drive back, I was like, were they?
Yeah.
But anything else about Ewan Hansen?
How did you like the acting?
I really enjoyed it. Like, the actor for Ewan Hansen, he acted like somebody with a disability.
He did. He reminded me, I don't know if this is what they're going for, but he reminded me of somebody with a processing disorder, like ADHD or autism or Asperger's or dyslexia. Because he was withdrawn, but he also, like, he just, a lot of the symptoms he kind of, like, gave off, like, matched with, like, processing disorder symptoms. And so I was able to associate with a lot of the ways he acted, like how he got, like, very socially awkward, but in very like specific ways, where he really wanted to have friends and be able to talk to everybody, but the second he was put in that like chance, he would start stumbling over himself and stuttering and freaking out and like second guessing everything he said. And it's just like, yeah, that seems like that's not just socially awkward. Like, you can be socially awkward but still be able to like talk.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's a little bit more difficult, but, like, he was, like, to the extreme, like, socially awkward. To the point where it's like, yeah, he has something else going on.
Because it's also mentioned in, if you listen to the soundtrack and if you go and watch it, it's mentioned that he hasn't really taken his medicine.
Now that I think about it, at first I brought that up with you, I know, and I was like, oh, I think he's taking, like, either antidepressants or, like, medicine for his processing disorder. But if he has one, you know, I thought that was a hint at it. But thinking back on it, I thought that at one point later in the musical he says, oh, I don't need to. Like, his confidence has boosted and he doesn't need to take his meds anymore. And it's like, I think now looking back on it, those were pain meds for his arm.
Yeah.
So at first I thought, I may be wrong about that. It may be that he had different kinds of meds he was taking, but because now that doesn't make sense. If he was in pain, you would think he'd be taking medicine to help that, and his mom wouldn't have to remind him. And you would think like he would be like going like ow, and then she would remind him. It was just kind of like he was just doing his everyday things. His arm was fine. It didn't really hurt that bad when it was like in a sling.
Right.
But like, you know, she shouldn't have to remind him. Like if you're in pain, you're gonna want those pain meds.
Right.
Most people don't want
I think
to be in pain.
that was up for interpretation.
I think it was up for interpretation. And
I
think,
took it like that. Like, it was for his processing disorder.
I did too. Because a lot of people, especially when they're diagnosed later on in life, they don't want to admit there's something wrong with them.
Yeah.
So they're going to refuse to want to take medication because they want to prove that they can do it without the medicine. Like, I'm strong enough. I should be strong enough to do this without medicine. Me having been off my medicine for over a week now, I can tell you that, like, no, I can't do that without my medicine. Because we walked into Walmart tonight, for instance, and we were in there for 5 minutes, and we went to go leave, and I couldn't even remember which way we came in.
Yeah.
I can remember, I was looking for a pair of shoes, and, like, for a cosplay, and I looked over at the shoes on the rack, or, like, on the wall, and then I looked down the, like, wall, and then I was like, I can't remember if I saw them back there or not. So I had to look back, and I kept doing that, like, 3 or 4 times, because I could not remember if I saw them there or not. Or, you know, it was just like, wait, did I check there? And it was starting to get very frustrating. So, yeah, like, I can tell you, like, I used to be that way, where it was like, no, I should be able to do this. I should be able to do all this stuff. But, like, yeah, you can only get so far.
Right. That'll be another podcast topic for another day.
Yeah.
So.
But, yeah, so that just makes more sense. That, like, he can function without his meds, but...
Also, this is a reminder to take your medicine. If it's around that time of day where you need to take your medicine, go and take it.
It's around that time of day I need to take my medicine.
Yeah.
I forgot to take my... I forgot to take my other medicine I'm supposed to take.
Yeah, so this is you reminded too.
No, it's too close to taking my bedtime medicine at this point.
Yeah, so.
It's like in between taking the midday and the nighttime, so.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
You sneaky snake.
I always remember halfway in between midday and night, like bedtime. So, like, I can't take it because, like, I need to take it in an hour or two anyways, so. I know. I need to set a timer on my phone.
You do. You need to set a reminder.
Yeah.
I keep telling you every single day to do it, and it's just like, nah.
I can't remember to do it. It's on my medicine.
Anyways, let's move on.
Yeah, but yeah, set design didn't like. Acting was phenomenal.
Rating the musical, we're gonna rate the musical like at the very end.
Yeah.
For each one, so.
So yeah, the very last musical is Book of Mormon.
Which I seen Book of Mormon in between. Oh,
don't do that. You like kicked it up and it left the ground for a second.
I seen Book of Mormon down in Cincinnati in between Hamilton, Chicago, and Mystery Science Theater. So that was back in August 2018?
Yes.
2017.
No.
Yeah, it's 2018.
Yes.
Okay.
I know because you took a picture of what the theater there was going to be showing over the next year, and you're like, they're going to be showing, and you post it on Instagram, and you're like, they're going to be showing, like, all, like, my favorite musicals they're going to be showing. And, like, you were, like, saying how all of the ones they were going to be showing were your favorites, and, like, I was looking down the list, and I was like, holy crap, those are all my favorites, too. And so, like, that got ingrained in my brain of, like, oh, yeah. Like,
and then, like, the next year, we went to go see them.
Yeah, it was, like, around a year later.
Yeah. That's kind of ironic.
That is. Well, we didn't get to go see Cats. I was really sad about that.
I mean, like, there's a movie.
I am like Harrison Ford when it comes to the Star Wars Christmas special, where I would rather kill myself than ever have to have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
Ever.
And that's just not Gwen making that up. That's, I think, one of his official quotes.
Yes, in an interview, a recent one within like when when The Force Awakens came out, that somebody went like on the red carpet, I think an interviewer came up and asked him if there were gonna be if Lucasfilms came up to you and said, we're making another Star Wars Christmas special and we want you to be in it, what would you say? And he'd say, I would kill myself. He said, they're like, would you do it? And he said, I would kill myself.
Yes.
That's an actual quote.
Yeah.
From him. And I feel that same way about having to do... I will never go see that movie. It's blasphemy. From what I heard, it's nothing like the actual musical.
No.
Like,
well, I heard too.
It's like, this sounds
People are
nothing
getting...
like the actual musical.
So this is a little, like, thing, but people are getting high and going to see Cats.
Oh.
And they said...
On what?
I don't know. That's just an article
You take the wrong thing, and you're gonna murder everyone. Don't take drugs, guys. They're not good for you.
Unless they prescribe to you.
Yeah, or, I mean, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they, like, yeah. I take controlled substances, so yeah, I kind of have to take drugs, but...
Yeah. I mean, like, if...
I'm talking, like, hard stuff, like PCP. Don't take that.
No.
You will strip all your clothes off, and you'll have a heart attack and die.
Which, that will be another topic for another day. Let's move on to the Book of Mormon, please.
Honestly, I can see that happening in the Book of Mormon. I'm surprised they actually didn't deal with drugs in the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised that they stayed very far away from drugs in that. They touched on every single other, like, racially, probably not good to talk about topics. Like, it's kind of racist, but, I mean, it's made by the creators of South Park. What were you expecting? Of course, it's going to be a little bit racist, but it's going to be, like, also, like, was it xenophobic and, you know...
Everything.
It's going to be offensive to everyone. Literally everyone and everything.
Yeah. Because the creators of South Park, so what do you expect?
Yeah, exactly. What do you expect? But yeah, I'm surprised they didn't touch on drugs.
Yeah.
Well, no, they did. The big, mean, evil guy in it.
Yeah.
Is a drug lord.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
That's about all they get with the drugs.
But talking about the musical, what the story is, it's about these Mormon boys who go on their
eldership, I think is what it's called. It's what they do before they can... Basically, when Mormons
rite of passage.
Rite of passage. When Mormons turn 18, they are... Huh?
17 or 18.
No, it's when they turn 18.
Okay.
They basically have to go on a mission trip. And they have to succeed at their mission, which is usually build a church and have this many amount of followers in the church by a certain time. Or just in general. Once you have that, you've met your goal and you can go home. And you can be a real man. A real Mormon man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about these boys who... One is not the brightest. One is trying to be the best Mormon that ever was. And they get their mission...
To Uganda.
And the guy who's trying to be the best Mormon ever has been praying his whole life to get sent to Orlando, Florida. Because that's his favorite place on earth. And he just wants there to be his mission. And as they're hearing, everybody else is going to, like, Tokyo and, like...
France. And...
Australia and France and, like, these cool, like, nice places. And then they get Uganda.
Yeah.
And this came out before the Uganda Knuckles meme. Can you imagine when this was popular? If the Uganda Knuckles meme had come out around then.
You know, the creators of South Park would have went on a ball with that.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, it's about them just and their African shenanigans. The shenanigans they get up to in Africa and the culture shock. And they're actually not having to start up their own church. They're going to join Mormons who have been there for years already.
Yeah.
Like these, I didn't really, that didn't sink in until just now. These guys hadn't seen their families in years.
Yeah.
They were stuck there until a church got made. And it's just like, yikes.
Yeah, so it's basically about the whole musical.
Yeah, this basically the whole musical in there.
Don't want to go into more detail because of it being created by the creators of South Park.
That and spoilers.
Yeah.
But yeah,
This is a family show.
costume design, the Africans' costume design was very good. Very accurate. For it being by the creators of South Park, it was actually not that racist. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, that's actually what people nowadays wear in Africa.
Yeah.
It wasn't like all tribal dress wear and stuff. The kind of stuff you see like the people from the Ghana congregation at my church wearing.
Yeah.
Like those beautiful dresses. Not everybody was dressed up like that.
Yeah.
Like they were wearing like jeans and a t-shirt. It's like, yeah, that's what people in Africa look like.
Yeah.
A lot of people would beg to differ, but that's a topic for another day. But
and
yeah, so
all the Mormon cast, well, all the actors that were portraying Mormons, they were just very accurate.
Yeah. Black slacks, black dress shoes, white shirt and black tie.
Yep.
And that was it.
Yeah, but then
with a black Bible in their, with a black, Book of Mormon in their hand.
Yes.
You know, just black and white.
Yep.
Like an old 1920s film.
There's a lot of 1920s references in this.
There
episode.
are. So yeah, the set design was really good.
Yeah, the changing of the sets were amazing.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful.
Like,
for a musical made by, once again, the creators of South Park, it was very artistically pleasing and beautiful.
Yeah. Like, the guys at South Park, they know how to transition well.
They do.
And, like, the art
Gotta give
wise.
them that.
So.
Yeah. For the creators of a show where the show consists of pieces of, like, construction paper layered on top of each other.
Yeah.
They know how to make a beautiful set.
And they,
like, very detailed. It was kind of like you went from cutting out shapes of construction
they also
paper
know how
to that.
They also know how to make a good, like, story.
Yeah. The story was really good.
Yeah. And
it got me laughing the entire time because you have to go in with the mindset of, I'm going to be offended by a lot of things in this.
And you can't go in, like unfortunately my mom did, you can't go in thinking, oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, you got to go in being prepared to be offended.
Yeah.
Or being prepared that, like, there's something offensive is going to happen. Maybe not directly towards you, but, like, it's just offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to go in, like, prepared for that. But yeah, that's...
The actors.
Acting was amazing.
Yes.
I could have sworn that was Josh Gad on stage. Josh Gad played the very ditzy, not that bright character in the Broadway, and the guy they got sounded like for this like the tour sounded exactly like him.
Yeah, and acted
like exactly.
Yeah.
And it was just like you like other than him looking a little different, like he had a different body type, of course.
And like different, he sounded a little bit different.
To me, he sounded almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, in some of it, he sounded a bit different. But, like, in a way, the guy that got to play the dumb character in this fits the character more than Josh Gad.
Yeah.
Like, Josh Gad is too handsome of a man to play that kind of character. This character is what you should think about when you think about a semi-overweight incel. Doesn't take care of himself.
Yeah.
You know, glasses, doesn't take care of himself, doesn't really know how to dress. His shirt's supposed to be tucked in, but it's like falling out. In weird places where it's like you could, there's no way that fell out by itself.
Kind of like a neat.
Yeah, that's basically what incels are now that I think about it. Like,
yeah.
Incels and neckbeards are kind of like neats. So yeah, if you think of if you know what a neat is, it's If you don't know what it is, it stands for not educated, employed, or in training.
Yeah.
So basically somebody who is living in their parents' basement.
Yeah.
Playing video games all day. So yeah.
And a lot of the people that they had, they did an amazing job, and they were completely on par with the actual Broadway actors, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There wasn't any part. Oh, excuse me. There wasn't any part in this where I was like, that doesn't seem right, or oh, I don't like how they're acting in that. It was perfect.
Right. Some audio issues, but that's about it.
Yeah. So yeah, do you want to start rating all the musicals?
Sure.
So for In the Heights.
In the Heights, I give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yep. What do you think about Hamilton?
Well, Chicago is the next one, but
Yeah, Chicago. So I'm holding the iPad and my hand was covering Chicago.
Oh, well, I was gonna say,
So
you should have been able to read that. Chicago, I would give a 10 out of 10. It was good.
Yes, I would give
No, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. There was one character that just kind of irked me in it.
Yeah, I would
but it's spoilers to say how they irked me. Like, major spoilers.
Yeah, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah. 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Hamilton.
Now on the Hamilton.
10 out of 10. Other than, like, if you're looking at it as an art piece, not a historical piece, not a 10 out of 10.
Yes.
It conveyed the story well. It was just, the acting was phenomenal. You felt that emotion when very emotional things happened. Like, I had to prepare myself for one of the emotional things because, like, I knew it was probably going to happen, even though a lot of people said that the actors weren't doing it anymore. And it happened, and I was just like,
yep.
Like, there's a scream when a character dies, and in the original Broadway, the person stopped screaming. I think that was just for their own voice, though, or because, like, they decided not to anymore, or for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But this actor decided that they were going to do the scream,
right.
And it was emotional. It was very emotional. I'll save it for whoever hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
So yeah, 10 out of 10.
In my opinion, yes, Hamilton was a 10 out of 10. Both the Chicago and also the Cincinnati, / television, was 10 out of 10. Dio and Hansen.
Oh boy.
I would say a 9.
8.5. I'm not a fan of Dear Evan Hansen. I've never been a fan, even though you were very kind to use your Christmas gift and take me to go see it. I was willing to give it benefit of doubt. I liked it more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing it again, but I wouldn't pay to go see it again. The tickets were very overpriced.
Yeah.
Compared to, like, Hamilton tickets and things like that for basically the same seating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, they were selling, like, $400 seats for Dear Evan Hansen were the same seats you would get for maybe $100 for Hamilton, which is just as popular a musical, if not more popular.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, hey guys, what's the deal with that? I didn't like that part of it, and I didn't really like, I just don't like the story.
Yeah.
Of it, so that's why it gets a lower rating. It gets an 8 because it was the acting was amazing. The set not good, in my opinion.
Plus, we got ripped off on the whole seating thing.
We got ripped off on the seating thing a bit
because we were supposed to sit closer, and even on the email and everything, and the tickets got to us. Was it like a day or two beforehand?
Yeah, they only got us the tickets a day or two beforehand, and then by at that point it was too late to send them back and get it fixed. And they basically gave us the wrong seats. They were for seats, like, way further back. So now it was like, oh, those $400 tickets, are not for orchestra seating. They're for, like...
The clear back.
The clear back. And it was just like, are you serious?
Like, really? I
Yeah.
clicked on it. But
yeah, it was a ripoff.
yeah.
Then again, you were getting them secondhand.
Yeah.
It was through one of those resale websites, and they tend to lie.
I should have got on Ticketmaster or something.
Yeah.
Book a moment.
9.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody. Hamilton is for everybody. Chicago is honestly kind of for everybody. Maybe not for everybody, but
Chicago's also like Chicago and Hamilton are more of history pieces.
yeah, this is more comedy, funny, haha.
Yeah.
So 9.
Yeah.
There are some things in it that I was like, okay, now they're just overdoing it. And that tends to be how it is with South Park. I'll be like, huh, that's a funny joke they just made. Like, yeah, it's offensive in some way, but it's funny. And then it's like, okay, the 50th time, haha, it's that same joke again. Can we have a new joke? Like, I got it the first 49 times.
Right.
I don't need another 50th.
Yeah.
So there were some jokes that it just did get old.
Yeah, I would rate it an 8 to 9.
Yeah, that's why I said 9. Is because, like, the acting was amazing. The song numbers were awesome. Some of the ways that they were being offensive, me being a semi-conservative Christian, like, I, like, know people who are a lot more conservative than me that are super angry about, like, certain things, like the whole Starbucks Christmas cup thing.
Yeah.
And they brought up Starbucks and how it's associated with the devil in the musical and one of the musical numbers, and that killed me. And how, like, everyone, like, there are drag queens in hell, and, like, that just, I was cracking up because I know people who actually act like that. And it's just so funny seeing it done in a very, like, satirical, making fun of those people way.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like, you're not going to go to hell if you drink Starbucks.
Yeah.
That's not
it's literally just coffee.
It is. It's just coffee.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, yeah, it's just, I thought it was funny, but...
Because coffee is coffee no matter how you get it.
Yeah, but...
What flavors you get.
Yeah.
Can we do coffee as a topic?
Yeah, we'll do coffee as a topic.
Thank you.
We gotta watch out. We don't want to rip off the world according to Jeff Goldblum.
You know.
Then again, I mean, coffee is... Just even though his episode came out just like a week ago.
You do know that life finds a way.
Okay.
Anyways,
Yeah, anyways. That's been it.
yeah. I don't have... That was the question. We typically, after every single episode, I pull up a Yahoo Answers.
But yeah, with the whole Are We From Ohio? Yeah.
Yep. That wasn't the Yahoo answer.
You're from the Dayton area?
Yeah, I'm from the Dayton area.
I'm from smack dab middle Columbus.
Hence why
Got that city life.
Hence why we always go to cons in Columbus.
Yeah. I'm gonna stall while Brandon looks up a Yahoo answer because I think that's what he's doing. I have been going to OhioCon, fun fact, since 2012, so this will be my 8th year going. I've been going since I was a sweet little baby in middle school. Yeah, middle school. I was a sweet little baby, and I was terrified on the first day because I saw a group of very loud Homestuck troll cosplayers, and they scared me. And I looked at them covered in their gray body paint and their brightly colored horns, and I was terrified. Little 12-year-old me looked at... No, I was like 13-year-old me looked at that and was filled with fear.
Then, like, not even a year later.
No, it was like, okay, that's what actually got me into Homestuck, because I was terrified but also intrigued. And then I was like, well, okay, I was more
Every
terrified.
horror movie nerd ever is just like, I was
I'm terrified, but I'm intrigued. Pennywise scares me, but I'm intrigued. Intrigue me, Pennywise. Intrigue me, Mr. Bates. Intrigue me. No, what are you doing with that knife? Mr. Bates?
Turns out the whole psycho is in here.
wait. But, yeah, I was mainly scared because being a little sweet bebe who had, at that point, undiagnosed severe off the charts ADHD, I was getting extremely overstimulated by their loud screaming, bucket throwing, and horn honking. And they scared me because they went around in a dozen or more sized mobs. At that point, in 2000, because Homestuck came out in like 2008 or 9, so it was still fairly new.
Yeah.
So like it had like just come out, so like the fandom was huge back then. So like they would literally go around in groups of 12 or more, or like sometimes like 3 dozen. So there would be mobs of gray people running and screaming at you, throwing buckets and honking horns, and you don't know what's happening.
Can we do like after Ohio Con or like before Ohio Con? Can we please do like a con podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, now that he has his Yahoo
A con
question.
past. Yeah, I got Yahoo answers up in here. Again, if you're new to this show, after every single, we have like discussion, like kind of like fact wise, or just like in general, like what the episodes talked about. I like to pull up a Yahoo answer, and if you have any questions you want to ask us about literally anything, we'll answer it, and either in between, like during the ad break or at the end of every single episode. It can be about advice or something that we're going to be talking about for that episode. So, if you want to get shouted out, leave a question down below. If you're listening to this on either YouTube or, again, whatever you listen to the podcast. So the question is, what are some of your favorite musicals? My all-time favorite movie and musical is White Christmas. OMG, I want to be Viola Ellen. She is just so perfect and posed. I've been looking into watching old musicals. I just watching Singing in the Rain. Yes. And now I'm watching How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, which is another good one.
I've never heard of that one.
I also got On the Town and Belle of New York from the library. Anybody else have a musical they enjoy? Then it goes on and says, I also recently watched Breakfast at Tiffany's, parentheses, not a musical, and it was okay, parentheses. I got all distressed when she threw Cat in the gutter. Know any good old movies like that? Question mark.
Okay, so I want to go first, just because this excites me. So for old musicals that like I've seen in movie form, Sound of Music, The Music Man, Singing in the Rain, all of those are so freaking good. I myself personally really love The Music Man the most. I've seen that both in high school, play version and in like what?
Did you know that The Music Man's going to Broadway and it's starring Hugh Jackman?
I will give one of you guys my soul if you were to give me tickets for that.
I just wanted to point that out. I keep getting articles and like news reports about it, and was like,
"Oh wait, sorry, I can't give you my soul. I have some ginger in me, so I can't. I don't have one."
You can give Gwen your soul.
You can give me your soul
because she has no soul.
In exchange for, see, I don't have a soul, so pity me and give me tickets to The Music Man.
So you can give
Broadway, so that Hugh Jackman can give me his soul. What? No, so he can, not so he can give me his soul, but so he can give me a soul.
Yeah. Anyways, so he can give you Ryan Reynolds' soul.
No, I don't want Ryan Reynolds' soul. What makes you think I don't already have Ryan Reynolds' soul?
Do you want Patrick Stewart's soul?
What makes you think I don't already have Patrick Stewart's soul? With how bald he is, I think he used to be a redhead.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really take his soul because he wouldn't have one.
I mean, he was Professor X, so
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman and him like are really tight. Yeah. Sorry, go on with your favorite musicals.
Yeah, but my favorite musical of all time is Cats. We have Cats, the official Broadway musical, on VHS, and I would watch that constantly as a kid.
See,
it has a lot of sexual like innuendos in it, and I still watched it as a kid, and I didn't realize it was chock full of sexual innuendos until I watched it as an adult and I realized, oh.
Is this why am I fairy?
You know? Oh my gosh.
What?
Is Cats Why I'm a Furry? Well, that should be the title of this. Is Cats Why I'm a Furry? A musical discussion. And we don't talk about cats once. Well, we do, but we don't discuss it at all. But yeah, Cats is my all-time favorite musical. Hamilton comes, like, very close behind.
See with me. I'm gonna cut it up between old musicals and new musicals.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to do. Like, Cats is in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's like my all-time favorite, and that's then like The Music Man, Sound of Music, Sing in the Rain, stuff like that is back there, and then newer ones would be like Hamilton, then Chicago.
The old musicals, which is kind of the same for me besides Cats, I love Sound of Music, Music Man, White Christmas, and also Grease.
I've never seen Grease.
And also Hairspray.
I want to see Hairspray. I've never seen Hairspray.
Yes,
I also really want to see Rent.
Rent.
I need to rent so I can see Rent.
I think we have Rent. It's on Netflix. But Rent, in my opinion, I see the joke that you're trying to do, but I'm not letting you.
You're not acknowledging it. And
No.
so I'm gonna keep making it until you acknowledge it. I need that validation.
Somebody down in the comments acknowledge Gwen's joke.
Please, I need that.
Yeah, you need that season of love. Fine, okay, I acknowledged it. Are you happy now?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Rent to me is okay. But, on to... Can you stop smacking your phone?
I'm sorry.
I'm watching the meter over there, and it's just like, I'm just gonna smack it down. It's just like...
It is. I didn't know that. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'm stimming.
Yeah, I know you are.
Like, really bad.
That's why I didn't say anything until, like, just now. But, moving on. Like, for new musicals, I love Chicago.
That's not a new musical. That's been around for 100 years.
Yeah, I know, but to me, it's, like, my all-time favorite musical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chicago is my all-time favorite musical. Is because I love that genre, that area of music. Like the old 1920s swing and just stuff like that. I just fell in love, like, listening to. And also, like, the story. They are such an amazing story and, like, such amazing, like, characters and just stuff like that. It's phenomenal. But, of course, we already just discussed it, so... If
yeah,
you wanna,
so you know.
Yeah, if you want to hear me explain it again, just go rewind. Rewind.
Just go rewind, and you'll get the whole picture.
Also, Hamilton and In Heights, there's a few more that I'm forgetting to mention, but...
You know, if you forget to mention it, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's all good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Hadestown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Hadestown. That's a thing.
Hadestown's kind of like a mixture between an old musical and a new musical.
I remembered an old musical.
What?
Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes. Yeah, Little Shop of Horrors and Hadestown is, like, kind of, like, in the middle between, like, old and new. And those two are also my favorite, like, musicals.
Little Shop of Horrors has been around for a long time.
Yeah. Same with Hadestown. It's been out since, like, the 80s.
Oh, no, Little Shop of Horrors has been out since, like, the 40s.
I'm talking about Hadestown.
Yeah, but like, I know you had been talking about how Little Shop of Horror is kind of like, on the edge of old and new. And it's kind of like, it's really old. It's kind of like Chicago, where, like, Chicago's been around for almost 100 years, and this is, or 100 years, and this is, like, well, yeah, I think it's been around for almost 100 years, but,
yeah, Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors has been around at least since, like, the 50s.
Yeah.
Or 40s.
I don't know why it was said it's, like, in the middle.
Yeah.
I think it's because they keep reviving it.
They do. The big revive that everybody knows about was, like, in the 80s, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's the one that everybody remembers. But my dad and I watched like the original movie, which is black and white and was made in like the 40s or 50s.
Yeah, which
Or
we need to
something like
watch the
that.
1980s versions
Yeah.
of it because it stars so many famous people like that you would recognize. So
Yeah.
we need to
Oh,
watch
I'm
it.
excited.
And especially the main character who plays Seymour is just the lawyer from Ghostbusters. Yeah, I didn't know that he can sing that, did you?
No, I did not.
Yeah. So those are a few of my favorite musicals. And same with Gwen's.
Yeah.
Old movie wise, I can't really give you any good recommendations. You just have to find them yourself. Well, if I do, I'll mention it in the next ad break in the next episode. So, yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, high five button with your thumb.
Leave a comment down below.
What are your favorite musicals? Just leave it down in the comments below.
Yeah. If you're watching on YouTube. If this is of course on Apple Music, then just find the social media post. Instagram would probably be the best one. Yeah, the one we'd be most likely to respond to the quickest and all that, and be easiest to find.
And if you have any questions you want us to ask, if you want to ask me personally a question, I'll answer it during the ad break. Or if you want to ask both of us a question, or if you just have a general question about what we're talking about, just in general, just leave it down. Just leave it whatever you writing the question to, whether it be on social media or YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
You're listening.
Yeah, if you're listening to this on YouTube, then leave it on YouTube, and if you're listening to this on Spotify or on something other than YouTube, then go find the Instagram post about the episode, or that's for this episode, and we will try to keep on top of answering those.
Then also we'll shout you out on the show. So I mean, who doesn't love a good shout out?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the person that I read the question for during the ad break, their name is Sebastian. So shout out to them.
That's a great name.
Yeah, it is.
That's an awesome
Duolingo, would you go away, please?
What does die mean? No, it was what does death mean? If you guys don't know what I'm referencing, I'll put it down in the description. It's a Tumblr post.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, go and subscribe to us. No matter what you're listening to, go and subscribe to us. Also go and subscribe to our YouTube channel because we post gameplay videos and
all the support means so much.
Yes, and all the love means so much.
Yeah, because we're trying to get to the point where we can do what we love and be able to live off of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're right now trying to get as much support on especially YouTube as possible, just so that like we can try and be able to do this for a living. That way we don't have to make it a second priority. We can make it first priority.
Right, which that means more content for you, lovelies.
Yeah.
So.
Because, yeah, if we can do this every single day, then...
Hey.
Well, you know, we'd be getting twice as many videos out.
Yeah.
And podcasts and other stuff like that.
Yeah. Also, don't forget to ring the bell if you're on YouTube or if Apple or whatever you're listening to will allow it.
Yeah. Ding.
Yeah. And, yeah. No matter who you are, no matter what you are, no matter what you do, love and respect yourself, also love and respect others. And let's make 2020 a year that we spread love instead of hate on each other.
Yeah.
So. And no matter what day you listen to this, make it a legendary day. And yeah, next time we're going to cast. Bye.
Bye.